Well, I just want you to, you feel me, get some closure or whatever y'all need to do.
I want to know like what's actually
Then
going on.
go over there and be like, hey, so we all should have a talk.
I do feel very much, I feel a lot of strong feelings towards Zeta.
Oh my God. Love Island USA is giving me life. It is giving me life. I love it. I said before I watch a lot of reality TV just as a way of self-care and sort of distracting my my mind. But oh my God, I love, as I said just today, I love it's just got enough, enough pettiness, enough, toxicity, enough drama, enough, you name it, enough romance just to keep you entertained. So hey there, thanks for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. It's your girl Valerie. So in this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA, season 4, episode 13. So I'll review the couples as I normally do, but I think the first bit I was going to review Serenity and Chaz, but and bring in a bit because Tyler's done 2 interviews that I've seen, and I think it sort of answers a lot of questions that people have. So I think I'll do that later. I'll start off with the square, the Chaz, Bria, sorry, the Bria. Um, I'll start off with the square, the Zeta, Timmy, Jeff, and Bria square. Okay. During the game, I think Jeff realized that these girls, this he needs to do something to break up this love square. Otherwise, he was not never going to win. He was always constantly going to be coupling up with the girl that Timmy didn't want, and I think he wanted to take back control and have someone that he knew that he was with him for the right reasons, and not because they were waiting on the other person to be dumped so that they could go to Timmy. So he had a conversation with Zita, and sort of they agreed that it was important that Zita address the issues with Timmy, and they reached a conclusion of whether she still wanted to go back to Timmy or whether she wanted to be with Jeff. Because if she was with Jeff, then Jeff was happy to stay with her. But if she wasn't into Jeff, he needed to crack on with someone, which made sense. And I think Jeff's idea was that he would get one of the girls to break up with Timmy. That way, he would appear like a good guy. It wasn't him sort of breaking them off, but the girl would have broken up with Timmy. So he sent Zita went off, and I think during that conversation, he realized that no, she's not breaking off with him. They actually seem to becoming stronger, and so he moved on to Bria. And Bria, for someone who came in, with all the heat and was and all that and was trying to and broke up 2 of the strongest couples in the villa. Um, I don't think she's all that. I don't think she's all that. I don't think. I think she was just fronting because Jeff got her to do his dirty work because he had a conversation with her and then she approached Zita and Timmy and obviously Timmy, anyone can say Tim is more connected to the Zeta than he is to Bria. I think Bria was a fantasy for him, his ideal woman. But I think he likes the drama, the pettiness, the everything that is Zeta, and the fact that if he stays aligned with Zeta, he might actually last longer on the show than if he matches himself with Bria. I might be wrong, hey. So they had a conversation, he was honest. He told Bria, unfortunately, I'm with Zita and my feelings for Zita are stronger than they are for you because Zita had asked him exactly the same question. And she was sat there, the queen that she is, she didn't need to say anything. She had done her work and left him to break up with Bria. And Bria was crying. And I think, as I said, she came in with all the smoke and sort of um, alienated a lot of people in the villa. This is why the girls just looked at her when she was crying and continued their makeup, even though they were sort of asking, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I think the fact that she came in, she broke up Serenity and Tyler, and they broke up Zita and Timmy. This is the reason why the girl in doing that she rubbed people the wrong way. I think because Tyler implied in his interview that Chaz was actually more interested in Maddie than he was in Serenity. He had multiple conversations with Maddie, but only had one conversation with Serenity. And I remember that conversation, Serenity told him that, I'm still working on, I've just started something new with Tyler, and that's what I'm working on at the moment. Anyway, I digress. So Chaz had to try and sort of pacify his sister, and he had a conversation with Timmy, which I think was great of Timmy. I think yes, he was honest with Chaz, but I think soon after having the conversation with Bria, he should have gone and looked for Chaz and told Chaz what happened. That way, because Chaz is the one who picked Timmy for his sister. However, Bria then kicked Timmy out of the bed. It was a bit, she told him to go and sleep outside, and it didn't make sense. I think, if nothing else, yes, she wanted to take control. I think she should, unless they're not allowed to swap beds if they're not in a coupling. I think that plan backfired because I think she's still emotionally invested in Timmy, even though Timmy's not invested in her. Because she didn't kick Timmy out, and Zita, went to the bootleg hideaway and slept with Timmy, and they did whatever they did under the sky, the stars, the moon, the lights, the camera, everything. And so um that plan backfired on its own. I think Bria's plan backfired on its own, and I think Jeff was smart in making her do the breaking up with Timmy, because after that happened, he then went in to sort of try and comfort her as well after her brother had sort of helped her sort of settle down and regroup. And she then agreed that, she was happy to give things a try with Jeff. When Jeff came into the villa, Bria said Jeff was her type, and she didn't want that. She wanted to try things with Timmy. I think she should have left Timmy alone, even though she was in a coupling, and gone for Jeff and worked on things with Jeff until she fully understood what was going on with Zita and Timmy. But no, because she wanted Timmy, she carried on with Timmy, and now she's trying to go back to Jeff. I think Jeff will entertain her until someone new comes in, and if someone new comes in that ticks his boxes, he's going to dump her, and she's going to continue in this vicious circle. And it's at the moment she and Timmy and the bottom two, in the bottom four, sorry. But I can see Timmy being saved over Andy. I'm not sure if the girls will save Bria over Courtney. That's why I'm not sure. I don't know what's going to happen on that side. I think I think Timmy and Zita are back together, and I don't see them wanting to sort of create any more of this mess that they were in. I think if they're going to create any more of the mess, I think it might be with other people in Casa more, but I don't think they'll want to go back to Jeff and Bria. But then Bria might be gone home by the end of the episode. Anyway, from there we go to Courtney and Andy. Courtney, sorry, Mandy and Andy. Maddie and Andy. It's sad that they're in the bottom two, in the bottom four, because Maddie has really come out of her shell. She's more talkative. She comes across as being more social. Because when she first came in, she was very stiff and sort of regimented. And I remember Courtney saying, oh no, it's not Courtney, Sydney. I keep saying Courtney. I remember Sydney saying, oh, why is she so formal in everything she does? Is she so structured? Does she never spontaneous? And I think being in the villa was good for her. I know she's got great relationships with the girls. I'm not sure whether the girls will save her over Bria, but I can see the only way I think they'll save Bria is if Zita says no. Let's save Bria and give her an opportunity to redeem herself. That's the only way I think they'll save her. Otherwise, chances are Maddie will stay and Bria will go home. The only problem is if Maddie stays, I'm not sure whether she would be into Jeff. Maybe if she stays, then she and Chaz could continue from wherever they stopped off, and then I don't know what happens with everybody else. Anyway, from there we go on to Sydney and Isaiah. Sydney and Isaiah, when they said the hideaway was opened, I knew that it would either be Sydney and Isaiah, or if Felipe was still there, I think Courtney would have gone with Felipe. But I'm not sure whether Bryce would be happy to go into the hideaway and be doing all that on camera, because I think he seems more, reserved. They went to the hideaway. They fully enjoyed themselves, which was to be expected. And they're saying that their relationship has progressed. I don't know. I remember someone, I think it was Deb, who said, the horniest people are the ones going to the hideaway first. And, it was good for them. They released, all that pent up energy and enjoyed themselves. And that's them. Um, Deb and Jesse went on a date. And it was good for them to go on a date and spend time away from the villa and get to know each other. But when they came back, Jesse was able to open up to Maddie, and I was on. I wasn't sure whether I believed him or whether I didn't believe him, but I said, hey, to each their own, because I don't know him personally, so I can't say he was telling the truth or not. Because I think Jesse knows that he's got a good thing going with Deb, and he's not going to mess that up. But at the same time, he's going to keep trying other things because he knows every time he messes up, just Deb will take him back. So he did confide that, because he didn't grow up with his dad and he was the man of the house, this is why he's not affectionate. And it's like, are you saying your dad didn't teach you to, should have taught you to be affectionate, or you didn't see your dad being affectionate with your mom? What are you trying to say? And when Deb was sort of telling everyone, you could tell that Zita wasn't buying it. Zita wasn't buying it. She wasn't buying it because I think what it's going to take is someone coming in, making Deb feel good, and taking Deb away from Jesse for Jesse to realize that he is definitely screwing up. I think that's what it's going to take. I think that's what it's going to take. And he'll be he had, at that point he'll be lucky if Deb still takes him back. That's just my opinion. And then Courtney and Bryce seem happy. They seem content. They were the first couple saved by the audience today. I think they were actually surprised. And I like the fact that when the girls go on a date, Courtney's quick. She's part of the group, and I think because she seems to be in very good books with Zita, who appears to be the queen bee of the villa. Chances of her, if she were in the bottom going home, I think she would have. It would have to be with someone like maybe Serenity or Zita for her to be eliminated to go home. And so I don't know. We'll see how they go. We'll see how they go. I was surprised that they didn't go to the hideaway, but then I realized that Bryce is very reserved, so there was no way they were going to go to the hideaway. And if they went to the hideaway, chances of them doing anything were very slim. But Bryce was there. He was cheering people on. He seems to be enjoying himself, although he seems a more quieter person than the other guys. And then lastly, Chaz and Serenity. I feel really sad for the two of them for different reasons. Because it seems, according to Tyler's interview, Chaz was interested in Maddie, and I don't know why Bria chose Serenity for him. Because I don't know whether she didn't want him to be identified as someone who doesn't date black women or whatever she was after. I don't know. Because Tyler in his interview for After the Sun said. Chaz only sat down with Serenity once. Otherwise, most of his time he spent with Maddie, and they were under the impression that they were going to choose Maddie. This is why Tyler and Serenity were both surprised when out of the blue he picked on his sister called out Serenity, and it seems what I don't know what was expected. Whether the sister just wanted Chaz to be with Serenity for a bit and then move on, or whether she thought Serenity would go with it until the end of the season. I don't see it. I don't know why she thought that. I really don't, because Serenity had already owned up and told Chad that I have started something with Tyler. We're still in the early stages, so at the moment I'm focused on Tyler. I'm not focused on anything else. And sadly, whatever efforts Chaz is putting in, yeah, Serenity identifies that he is making an effort, but she is not in the best place to receive it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Serenity volunteered to leave because she looks very miserable. She looks very unhappy. I thought maybe after a couple of days she'd get over it. It doesn't seem like she's getting over Tyler leaving. I know people are, oh, she only likes white guys. I don't think so. She was first coupled up with Felipe, and they immediately agreed that she was friends with Felipe. There are two other white guys in there. She never even made an effort to get to know them romantically. So I think she had a strong connection with Tyler, and this is why she feels the way she does. And Tyler, on his part, seems to, he's surprised that people didn't see that he really liked Serenity. He's surprised that um, after he said he gets it now that he's seen the videos of the edits of whatever was shown, because they're filmed for 24 hours and we only get to see maybe about 10-15 minutes at the most of a couple in an episode. So it's very difficult for them to sort of show everything. And I think this is why they do After the Sun. Tyler on his part said he really likes Serenity. He really cared for her. He is heartbroken that she is unhappy and wishes he could go and console her, especially when he saw her crying. That really broke his heart. He was asked on After the Sun, um, if Serenity left the villa single, would you get in touch with her? And he said, yeah. immediately. I would. And you could, and I think somebody said to him, "You can't say that because if you say that, then people are going to vote out." So then he did another interview where he said, yeah, I would get in touch with her in whatever capacity she wants, whether she wants it to be romantic, she wants it to be a friendship or whatever. I'm here waiting, and he made it seem like he was in the driveway at the villa in his Uber waiting for her, to leave. Although he said, I wanted to enjoy the full experience. I don't want her to leave early, but if she comes out single, I'm here. If she comes out to someone, I'm still here. And so it's a matter of him sitting and waiting for her to, for whatever happens with her. And I can foresee at the next recoupling, Serenity, as I've said, is going to end up recoupling either with with Jeff, because Jesse was with Deb. I think she's going to recouple with Jeff, even though she doesn't seem to like him because of how she snapped at him when he was throwing a fit about Zita, trying to talk to him about Zita's relationship with Timmy. I don't know. It's going to be sad, I think, if Serenity keeps on the way she is. I think eventually she's just going to pack up and leave. I wish they could bring Tyler back in Casa more, but I don't know. Besides, on the UK version, they did bring back Adam Collard, so I hope they do bring back Tyler. Anyway, that's me digressing. Thanks, guys, for watching. See you next time. Bye.